in general, that's 4 games, 10 from 12. I think most people would have shook hands on that if you'd offer, given that we had to go to Stamford Bridge and that we had to go to Newcastle. And then you consider 2 of those games have been played with, 10 men for half against Bournemouth and 70 odd minutes against Newcastle. I think we're all feeling really, really positive about the Reds now. This time last year, we were on 5 points. Yeah, we just battered Bournemouth 9-0 and we hoped that we turned the corner. Turned out we hadn't. We turned into a brick wall, basically. It feels a lot more positive this time around. I think everyone's in a pretty good place.
I'll be honest with you, I was getting ready for a slog this season, to be honest with you, when the way things were going through the summer. I think 2 things have happened in the past week that's perked everyone up. I think that Newcastle result, I think because once Trent went off, I think a lot of us thought that game was done then, because Newcastle are a really, really good team. Once Virgil went off, I think we all thought that game was over. To come back, get that 2-1, and then getting Gravenberch through the door this week, it's perked all the fans up, so I'm pretty sure it's perked the squad up and the players up. So I'm gutted the international breaks here. I think it's just coming at the wrong time for Liverpool, because I think we were building up momentum on the pitch.
Suppose though, John, the good news is, like I say, there are a couple of lads with niggles and stuff, and you might be able to get them back. We'll find out where Canate is. He's just put out the French squad, but Liverpool have got what Jürgen even said in these four games of the pre-season. I think 12 would have been amazing, but only City have got 12 so far, and yeah, they're different, and their fixtures, to be fair, have been a little bit more kind. You know, they didn't have to play Newcastle away. They had them and stuff like that, but Arsenal have had a decent start, West Ham, Tottenham, but like you throw the Reds in there as well with very difficult fixtures. I think, 10 from 12, the new signings all settling in, looking good. A lot of the old rear guards looking a bit back towards being themselves. Is it as simple as what Ian mentioned before, like the revamp of the midfield, and we started the show with it? It feels like it's made everyone's job a lot easier, and all of a sudden, so Gomez and Mata have got less to do. They're not constantly getting run at, things like that.
It isn't just the midfield, it pervades the whole team, doesn't it? There's a change of style, there's a change of personnel, change of energy, and it seems to have done the trick. And last year hopefully will now just be a little blip.
I suppose as well, we were talking about this at the end of last season. It's been a long time, touch wood, since Liverpool lost.
15.
Yeah, they do, and we're all desperate for that magical miracle Champions League run that Liverpool have had to go into. They've had to win every game, and that's really tough to do. But I remember sitting here with 8, 9, 10 games to go last season, even if we don't get it, it will be important to carry on some good feeling and some momentum into this season, and maybe we're feeling the benefits of that as well. It was a difficult one at Chelsea. Liverpool started well and then kind of fell away a little bit, but since then, they've shown a lot of character, which was questioned last year. I do think it just feels like the morale's high. Maybe it's a combination of new faces.
They feel like
being on a good run. Yeah. Do you feel like momentum? But do you feel like the good vibes have carried through from that run?
I think Klopp looks refreshed. I think Klopp was ready for this season. I think Klopp looked like he's well up for it. When you see him at the end of the Newcastle game, he was like, yeah, that was Klopp. When he was standing there and he was doing that fist pump, that was all about. That was the Klopp we love.
I think he's making a determined effort to be calmer. Because of all the stuff
getting booked and
getting sent off.
I think that might well change his perspective. Having a much calmer view of what's going on around him.
Well, again, no one can be disappointed with 10 from 12, surely.
No, I'm really thrilled. And I look at the other teams with 10, and I still see us as the challengers. I do think last year was a strange one. But this year, I think we're back there, and I think City will be looking over their shoulders at us, not necessarily Tottenham or Arsenal.
Actually, there's been some really good. Tottenham and Arsenal have been very, equally as good, Ian, but it does feel a little bit like this. I've seen Liverpool start seasons like this before, and again, touch wood, it usually goes well. You know what I mean? You can sense there's more to come. You know what I mean? You can sense there's a lot there, and I know sometimes when you get last minute winners, I remember Arsenal at the end of last season, you're going, it feels like they're on paper over cracks a little bit. Liverpool's last minute winner was with 10 men away from home. That's a different thing. I wonder if we look back at that Newcastle result in 4 or 5 or 6 weeks' time and just go, wow, that was the confidence lift, and that was the one that really cemented what they're going to go on to do here.
I think the other thing that Liverpool have got, I think only Man City have got, is Liverpool have got it in them to go on a massive run. We can go 15, 20 games unbeaten. Liverpool have shown that over the past 5 or 6 years. It's something that Liverpool can do.
I mean, you've got to though, haven't you? If you want to have any chance of winning the title, you've got to go unbeaten for as long as possible, because City are just relentless. That's why that 15 games unbeaten is so important, because it just breeds this mentality of we don't get beat, we don't lose football matches, because you can't afford to.
Well, it tells you our mentality right now as well, that we're talking about challenging City for the league. If you'd have asked me that 3-4 weeks ago, well, we need to get in top four, we need to make sure we're back in the Champions League. The fact we've been talking about challenging City and taking them possibly for the Champions League charge just shows the mentality of us now as a fan base and probably the players.
I suppose as well, this time last year, like, I know we just battered Bournemouth, but like, you could sense something wasn't right. You're not getting, there's no bad vibes here, John. Like, listen, it could unravel, but there's been no signs of it yet. The squad might get stretched, the injury bug might bite, whatever it is, you might regret not being.
I mean, you've got tough games coming up, haven't you? I mean, City's not that far away, and you've got West Ham, who are doing well, got themselves a decent team there now. So it's, you know, it's not easy, but they're more frightened of playing us than we are of them.
But look at the three teams we just played there: Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Newcastle. Everybody's looking at them fixtures, going, "They're tough. They're three tough fixtures." Then, and we've come out of them fairly unscathed.
Yeah, we have, and I suppose as well, like this time again, it's half back in last year. You could see the problems in the team. Yeah. You could see the legs were going. You could see that there was massive issues. There's been not an year that's been massively concerning to me. I think the sloppiness of the goals against Bournemouth and Newcastle are things you can iron out. Yeah. They're just individual errors. That isn't systematic or like legs going.
Early season mistakes. That's
but there's no like, I don't know what the word is. Like you're not going, oh my god, like Fabinho's legs have gone. Like, you know, you're looking at it going, you can see the signs of a really good team here.
Yeah, you can do, and you're only going to get better, and because they're going to learn how to play with each other more. Than Liverpool generally get better as the season goes on. So if we're not playing at our best now, I can't wait until we are.
And it's not like we've got 11 players who, if you get them on the pitch, will win football matches. We've got a really good squad there.
You know, like you can tell, bringing Jota on, bringing Gap on, you get to bring Harvey Elliott on. You've got add Ryan Gravenberch into this mix. I mean, who knows whatever happens with Kanate
and Endo came on, had a lovely little cameo again.
You know what I love about Endo, to finish on him actually? I love how he lets the ball run across him. You know, I think that'll you know, Liverpool are under the cosh a little bit. He's certainly got that in him as well, and we'll see more of him. But yeah, all in told, we're all feeling very, very good, and as we should as well. The sun was shining, and Liverpool won 3-0.